Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Welcome to Coaching with Triumph and Zoe. And here with you today is myself, Coach Zoe, also known as Triumphina Hukung. And Happy New Year, compliments of the new season. I am sure that you are all very excited and happy to be in this year 2021, and I really hope that your dreams will come true this year, and that this year will be everything that you hoped and dreamed of. All right, now let us continue with our lesson for today. And one of my jobs as a coach is really to help people to find that balance in their lives. And as I was thinking about the lesson that I'll be offering today, I thought to myself, I am going to put together that Wheel of Life lesson. And so during this lesson, I would invite you and encourage you to take a pen and a piece of paper and really be more interactive with me and write down these different areas of your life and try to really evaluate and reflect and see where you are and also see where you want to be. So we will be using a scale from 1 to 10. 1 will mean that you are unsatisfied in this area, and 10 will mean that you are very satisfied in this area. You will rate yourself, and then we will take it from there. So a little bit about the Wheel of Life. I am going to give you a summary of the different areas that it covers, and from there I'll break it down into each individual area. Okay, so the Wheel of Life, you can imagine it as the circle of life. It is a circle, and it's like a pie of some sort. If you take a pie, you cut it into 8 pieces, and so each piece will represent each part or each area of your life. And so that is how the Wheel of Life works. So the first pie of your circle or your chart, you can refer to that as your physical environment. So you can write down number 1, physical environment, okay? And then number 2, we're going to look at your business and your career. Number 3, we will have to also evaluate your finances. Where are you now, and where do you see yourself in the near future, in the far future? And the 4th part of your Wheel of Life is really looking at your health. Are you healthy? And when you're talking about your health, we're really talking in a holistic way, okay? And then number 5, we're going to look at your relationships in terms of friends and family. Number 6, we have to also, touch on your romantic life. Number 7, we will be evaluating your personal development and what are you doing to develop yourself. And then the 8th part of your Wheel of Life focuses on your fun and recreational activities. So this is now, in summary, what we call the Wheel of Life. And I'm going to now just elaborate a bit further and break it down so that you can walk through with me in this lesson. And as you evaluate yourself, you'll then be able to see which particular area requires improvement, because you will find that perhaps actually you're doing very well. When you're doing well, let's say 5 is more neutral, in most of the 5 out of the 8 parts of this Wheel of Life, but then the other 3 are kind of lagging behind, or it's an area that you do not give much attention to, and so that will just give it, it will just raise a flag, and so that you would be able to address this particular area in life. Okay, so starting off with the physical environment. Now this refers to where you actually live, your place of residence, and it also really involves your place of worship. It can be also where you socialize, your gym membership. Where do you go to exercise? Where do you go? Where do you hang out with your friends? What do you feel about these environments that you find yourself in? This also actually includes your work environment, and I know that most of us have been affected with having to now move and working from home, and there has been a shift in our physical environment, and that can bring about stress and pressures that we had not experienced before. The question is, how are we going to now deal with these kind of stresses? So we have to be aware of where we are. So look at your physical environment, or maybe even in terms of your own home. You're thinking of doing some renovations, or you want to buy a new house, or you want to relocate, or you want to move, or maybe you want to downsize actually because you want to cut costs during this time. So really evaluate, where are you now? Do you feel satisfied or do you feel unsatisfied? And if you are unsatisfied, what are the steps that you will need to take in order to reach level 10 out of, the 1 to 10 scale? So I'm going to give you 1 second to write down. Okay, you don't have to overthink it. Okay, good. Let's continue. We are done with the physical environment. Let's move on to now the second part of your wheel of life, which deals with your business and your career. Now, we know when we are working, we are employees. We can't just be stagnant, right? There is that trajectory that we have, and we see ourselves growing in an organization. Perhaps you are targeting a certain, head of department, or perhaps you've reached that place in your life where you now want to become an entrepreneur and you're looking for something different, that is challenging in a different way. And so this is where you really have to evaluate where you are. And I know that currently a lot of people are losing their jobs and finding themselves in a place where they have to start over. Think about that. Where can you go? What can you do? And what do you need to get there? Perhaps it could require you getting an education in that field, or a certain certificate or a certain qualification. Evaluate where you are in your business and in your career. And even if you are running your own business, where do you see yourself in the next year? Where do you see your business growing in the next 5 years? Have you thought it out? Have you thought about your clientele? Have you thought about your focus industry area? Have you done enough market research? Do you understand who are your customers and what are their needs? Perhaps it's a matter of doing a survey or a questionnaire, picking up the call and actually asking your clients and getting some feedback as to how your service has been to them and what has been of value to them. And so it's always important as businesses that we are always growing and that we are always reevaluating where we are and the value and the services that we are offering to our clients. Okay. I'm going to give you 1 minute, 1 second, I said, to evaluate where you are right now. If you're at a 5, now you have to really think about what do you need to do to get yourself to an 8. Maybe you need to put in more time. Maybe you need to work smarter, not harder. Maybe you need to develop new network relationships. Maybe you need to find new clients. Or maybe even in your organization as an employee, you are thinking of changing the particular role, or even you want to change from being an employee and you want to start your own business. There are certain decisions you have to make. And then you really have to think, what do you need to get to where you want to be? Okay, moving on. I'm not going to dwell on that. Now, the third part of the wheel of life, this deals with our finances. How do we feel about where we are financially? You can rate it between 1 and 10. 1 is I am not satisfied. 10 is I am perfectly fine. And if you find yourself that you are not satisfied with your level of your finances, ask yourself again, how much money do I really want to make? Because money is really made from the value that we create and we are able to offer. Money is the exchange of services based on the value that the person perceives to receive from that service that we are providing, right? And so if we want to, let's say, make 10,000 Rand a month, it means that every week we need to be making 2,500, and we know we have 5 days in a week. If we break that 2,500 per day, we need to make 500 per day. And so when we think about making more money, it just means that we need to do more with less, right? Maximize our output, right? And so if we have to break that 2,500 into 500 Rand per day, then we know we may be working 10 hours per day, so that 500 must be divided by 10, and then you can work out your rate per hour. And so we now know how we need to increase our rate per hour, or so that we can increase our total income at the end of the month. That's in simple terms, if you were to think about how much money do you want to make and how you break it down into how much you need to actually see on a daily basis in terms of cash flow, that cash that you are able to generate. And once you do that, you will realize that you cannot afford to waste a minute of your life doing things that are useless, things that do not add any value to your life. If you really have thought out the financial well-being or where you want to be financially, you definitely will realize that time is actually money, right? Okay, so let's continue. We are done with the finances. Now we're going to talk about our health. The health part of our wheel of life. This comprises of a holistic health. I'm now referring to the body, I'm referring to the mind, and I'm also referring to the soul and the spiritual well-being. We need to be able to take care of this holistic being that we are. We need to make sure that we are feeding our mind with the right kind of information, the right material, the music that we listen to, the books that we are reading, even the news that we are hearing on the television, and whatever soapies we are watching, whatever we entertain ourselves with. If you know that you are scared of watching horror movies, before you go to sleep you will have nightmares, then just don't do it, because that is not healthy for your mind. It's simple as that. And we also need to make sure that we are taking care of our physical bodies, right? And so a little bit of exercise, taking some walks, making sure that the blood is really circulating as it should, and eating right is also very important. I'm not talking about going on a diet right now. I'm talking about just watching what we eat and making sure that we don't have food that is too salty, or we are just eating a lot of carbs and we're not balancing our meals with the proteins that we need, and the vegetables and the fruits, and drinking the water. I mean, these are basic health things that we often ignore until it's too late and we find ourselves in trouble in our bodies, right? Now let's now look into the mind, the soul, and the spirituality aspect. We know that we have to also take care of our well-being in terms of our emotions and our mental state of being. And so it's important that we meditate. It's important that we breathe. I mean, you can even have a look at the app store. You'll find a few meditation apps, and you can really even start by just doing a little bit of some breathing exercises. You just close your eyes and you center yourself, and you take a deep breath in like this, and out. And already I'm feeling calm, I'm feeling relaxed, and you can just continue with your breathing for at least 5 minutes in the start of your day. There are some people who love to meditate in different ways by reading different things that help them to focus, gratitude journals, and writing down their own affirmations and reminding themselves of those affirmations. And so you can also do that. I do have an anchoring that I also offer my clients, which is getting yourself anchored into the right positive state of mind. And so I do anchor different states of being, for you to be able to then carry on with your day in a positive state of mind. Okay, cool. So we are done with the health. Remember, it is holistic. And it's not just one thing about what you eat. It's everything all together. How you work out, how we know that whatever you get into your body, the energy that goes in must go out. It's simple as that. Okay, now we are done with the fourth item, which has to do with our health. Now the fifth part of our wheel of life, this now is looking at our friends and family. This is now relationships. In this life, I am telling you, one thing that will make or break you is the people in your life. It is the relationships that we form, and so it is very important that we are having the right relationships that are aligned. These must be aligned with our values. They must be aligned with our vision and where we see ourselves going into the future. And so it's very important that we have those relationships that build us up as people, that inspire us, that motivate us. And there is a quote that says, show me your friends and I will show you who you are. And it is also often said that you actually are a total sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Now, I'd really like you to evaluate your family, your friends, where you are, and really pick up that phone call that special friend and call that family member. I know that there's so much isolation from socializing that is happening right now, and one can often find themselves feeling lonely and alone. And so please just pick up the call if you're feeling lonely, call a friend, right? Be a friend if you want to be friendly, or if you want a friend, be what you are looking for. And so really learn how to build those long-lasting relationships. It's really about open communication, and consistency is also very key. However, talking about relationships and friends and family, it's also very important that we draw boundaries. It's very important that we know the limits that we are willing to go in a friendship, or even when it comes to our family members. We must draw a line, and so we must know what we are willing to put up with and what we are not willing to put up with, that we can maintain our peaceful state of being. Okay, I want to leave it at that in terms of the fifth part, the friends and the family. Now, number 6, it's all about the romance. Hey, the romance. And so romantically, you could be married, you could be single, you could be divorced, you could be widowed. Whatever the case may be, this is another part of our lives that really sometimes, people want to be with people, right? And you want to find a partner in life that you share similar interests with, that you want to share life moments with. And so think about that area of your life. Are you satisfied? Are you unsatisfied? And if you are not satisfied, what do you need to do, to try and get to maybe a number 9 if you're at a number 5, hey? And so maybe it's about how you project yourself. Let's say you are single and you do not have a special someone in your life, and you actually really want to have a special someone. The question is, are you trying to find or make yourself available? What exactly are you doing? I know you can't necessarily put yourself out there right now with people wearing masks and so forth. However, we have the internet, and there are various ways now of finding that special someone in your life. Let's say you do have that special someone. It doesn't end there. You still have to continue making sure that you are happy in this relationship, and your partner and yourself are going in the same direction. Because one of the reasons that people end up separating, it's said that they outgrow one another. They grow in different directions. And so try and see that every day you have time for each other, and you're talking about where you are in your relationship, and what are your visions and goals as a couple, couple goals, right? Awesome. Okay, let's now continue. Let us move on. We've done number 6, which is the romance. Number 7, now this is personal development, and this is something that is very, dear to my heart, and that is why I'm a coach, and I really want to see your life being lived to the fullest potential. You have to unleash your purpose, and that is my purpose, to assist you to unleash your purpose. Now ask yourself, are you investing in your own personal development? How would you rate yourself from a scale of 1 to 10? Are you satisfied with where you are in your personal development? I mean, you can see on my wall, I have plenty of certificates. I'm not saying go ahead and get plenty of certificates. It's just something I love. I love to learn. I love to educate myself. I love to always apply my mind. It's part of my journey in life. And so your journey might be different. Personal development, it has to do with a lot of different aspects. It could be your emotional intelligence. Are you aware? Are you self-aware? Are you aware, of yourself? Are you aware of where you are when you are with other people? Are you aware of who you are within that group? And are you aware of those people also, and how you relate to them? And so I do assist as well when it comes to doing some personality tests, so that you can determine your personality type. Then you can understand the personality types of the other people that you have to relate to. And so that helps you also, in dealing with them and knowing how to deal with them. Somebody might be an introvert, you might be an extrovert. So when you come in there with your energy, and they're like looking at you, okay, what is going on here? You shouldn't take that in an offensive way, because that's not who they are. They are more introverted, whereas you are more extroverted. And so those are the little things, that are unsaid, but you have to know about them, right? So personal development is very important in us reaching our full potential in this life. And we have strengths sometimes that we never even really come to discover what those strengths are. And it's very important that we know what are our strengths. You can go online, do a strength test and find out what are your top 5 strengths, and these are the things that you should really focus on. When I did my test, I actually found coaching is one of my top 5 strengths, and that is why I am a coach. And so really do those kind of things that are important in you discovering who you are, and that will help you in knowing your journey in life, in which direction you need to go, and your calling in life as well, and the reason that you were actually being put on this earth. What is the purpose of your life? That is so important to develop, in your person. Okay. Now we will now move on to the last bit, which is now the fun and the recreation. This is the 8th part of our wheel of life, and of course, all work and no play will make Jill a very dull person. So it's important. It's an important part of life to enjoy it. Right? What is the point of living a boring life? We have to, smell the roses, take a walk, whatever hobbies we enjoy, we have to do something. Can you commit to every day doing something that makes you happy? And happiness is something that we have to find within ourselves. It's something that we cannot find outside, and no one can make us happy. We have to make ourselves happy. And I think that's where most of us get lost, looking for happiness in all different places and different people. And we get so disappointed when they don't make us happy as we had expected them to. The level of our expectation can be really what disappoints us. So let's look at how can we make ourselves happy. Maybe you enjoy singing, dancing, that makes you happy. Go for it. Eh? I sometimes just take a drive and I just sing along to my favorite music, and I am just having a joy all by myself. I enjoy my own company, I will tell you that. How about you enjoy your own company? Have some new hobbies. How about that? Try a different sport you've never tried before. Maybe you enjoy cooking, try a different dish, learn something new, or try playing tennis for a change, or just do something different that you haven't done before. You will be surprised at how that can actually make you a happier person. And there you have it. That is your wheel of life to try and get you to live a more holistic and a more balanced life. I believe that now more than ever we need to be living a balanced life and making sure that we are in charge of who we are, in charge of our destiny, and in charge of our journey in life. All right. Now, please do follow me on all your social media networks: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, as well as Instagram at Triumphant Zoe Coaching. And I will see you again when we do our next lesson. Thank you very much, and please do subscribe to this channel as well. Thank you very much. Cheers.